athletes, and now we're on to overweight. The relationship between this group and the athletic girls is once again testosterone. We do know that testosterone absorbs heavy metals. We do know that is why boys suffer more from autism from vaccinations than girls do. We saw that in the graphs previous. We do know that in this group of demographic of girls adversely affected and who have died from Gardasil and now Cervarix, that they are athletes, that they are overproducers of testosterone because of their athletic competitive metabolism. The relationship between this group and the athletic girls is once again testosterone. And here we go with the subjects of overweight females, again testosterone. During the course of our interactions with overweight females, it's been noted, especially with dark-haired females, that they would have a certain amount of facial hair. This could be evident with a few strands on the chin or a mild mustache. Many have hair extending from above the ear to above the jawline, and this is known as hirsutism and is caused by hormone imbalance. The publication from the Johns Hopkins University mentions greater circulating levels of testosterone as an important contributor to certain disease conditions. This elevated testosterone level in females could also be a contributing factor as to why some of the girls affected by Gardasil happen to be also overweight. And this is what I refer to as it's all in your head. Most of you know, and if you don't, you will know now that menarche is a very fragile time in an adolescent girl's life. In fact, it's the most fragile time of her life. There are many factors that determine the strength of the endocrine system and how well it will adapt to its environment. Studies have shown that menarche is occurring at a younger and younger age. In addition, adolescent girls' reproductive hormones are active up to 2 years prior to first menstruation. It must be noted that both the immune and endocrine system are bombarded with many more environmental toxins than in the past. Many of these toxins emit estrogen mimickers that upset a woman's hormone balance. Menstrual cycle evaluation and hormone balance must be considered for a vaccination program for any age group of women. Inoculation of the 9 to 26 age group poses many dangers as cited in the following studies on menstrual cycle evaluation. Any of you doctors out there who are dealing with young girls in this age group know that they can ovulate on day 1 or they can ovulate on day 101 as the endocrine system is determining its own rhythm that it will keep for the next 30 to 40 years. And that is why this is a fragile time of life. And because we don't know when ovulation is going to be taking place, when this regular pattern, when the endocrine system kicks into place to a regular pattern, we're just opening up doors for all sorts of possibilities of additional stressors on the body. And here we have it, studies on menstrual cycle evaluation right off the PubMed.gov website. Impact of stress, gender, and menstrual cycle on immune system, possible role of nitric oxide. Basically, folks, the immune system is much higher during the follicular phase and decreases during the luteal phase. That doesn't come to surprise any woman. For those of you lay people, once we have our period and the hormones start rising, our immune system gets stronger. After ovulation and right before we get our periods, when we're feeling so tired, worn out, and fatigued, what does that mean? It means the immune system is more compromised as the hormone levels are dropping. Why would anyone choose to get vaccinated at that point in time when everyone knows, every woman knows that she doesn't feel as well during that time? Here's another study, sex differences in stress response, circulatory activation dependent on female hormone cycle. This study states that understanding sex differences in stress regulation has important implications for understanding basic physiological differences in the male and female brain and their impact on vulnerability to sex differences in chronic medical disorders and associated with stress response circuitry. The influence of menstrual cycle on NK activity is the next study. Natural killer cells or NK cells mediate first-line defense against various types of target cells without prior immunization. Results showed that NK cytotoxicity was higher in the follicular than in the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle. We have more natural killer cells, again, as the immune system is rising, the hormones are rising, a woman is healthier than in the latter part of the menstrual cycle. And once again, in this age group of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 16-year-olds, their cycles are irregular, and we have no idea what's going on. More evaluation studies, testosterone levels and cognitive functioning in women with polycystic ovary syndrome. Here we go. Women with PCOS at significantly higher levels of free T estimated by the free androgen index demonstrated significantly worse performance on tests of verbal fluency, verbal memory, manual dexterity, and spatial working memory than healthy control women. Many of these girls are suffering from PCOS now. Hair loss. This is a major issue for girls adversely affected and also reported, unfortunately, in girls before they passed away. This is, according to the Mayo Clinic, due to hormonal changes, irritation, damage. Some hair follicles have a shorter growth phase and produce thinner, shorter hair. In general, in particular, it's called alopecia areata. Classified in and of itself as an autoimmune disease. The cause is unknown. People who develop alopecia areata are generally in good health. A few people may have other autoimmune disorders, including thyroid disease. Some scientists believe that some people are genetically predisposed to developing this condition, and that a trigger such as a virus or something else in the environment sets off the condition. And certainly with all of the girls suffering from hair loss after this vaccine, we must consider Gardasil and Cervarix as being a part of that trigger. Luteinizing hormone provides a causal mechanism for mercury-associated disease. Basically, mercury attaches itself to luteinizing hormone. There are 246 mercury hotspots in the United States. We're exposed to mercury in corn syrup. We're exposed to mercury everywhere. Mercury and aluminum combined cause death in lab mice. This is to be seriously considered and noted. Dan Lax with the UCLA Research Center has written a brilliant paper, again included in our handouts, on the brief assessment of aluminum exposure and the endocrine system. It is thought that inflammation resulting from aluminum exposure may induce learning and memory deficits, brain fog. These girls are suffering this in school. Certainly targeted effects on the endocrine system may affect immune modulation and produce a pro-inflammatory cascade that responds to targeted aluminum deposition in the hippocampus with resulting neurotoxicity. In fact, he really goes on to say that the aluminum response affects all areas and all organs in the endocrine system. The endocrine system is what keeps a woman's health in balance. Her hormones, everything else. The thyroid is crucial. And when you have aluminum toxicity and neurotoxicity resulting from aluminum exposure, the whole endocrine system is thrown off. Hundreds of girls have stopped menstruating. We still don't know. We have no idea what this means in the long run. Will they ovulate in the future? What will there possibly be genetic birth defects? Are we looking at another thalidomide situation here? All we know at this point in time that most of the girls that we are speaking with and who have reported on these various sites have stopped menstruating. Heavy metals and fertility, thus the hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis, can be affected by heavy metals either directly or indirectly through modifications of the secretion of prolactin and other steroid thyroid hormones. In the ovary itself, accumulation of heavy metals impairs the production of estradiol and progesterone. Again, hormone allergies. Many disorders have been associated with menstrual cycle influences, including, here we go, people, acne, asthma, hereditary angioedema, aphthous ulcers, Beckett syndrome, porphyria, epilepsy, allergic rhinitis, migraines. A recent review of autoimmune progesterone dermatitsu described an allergic reaction to progesterone that can lead to severe dermatitis and anaphylaxis. Remember that term. We're going to go back to it. Immunological adjuvants and vaccines. It's now been revealed that it is the